yourself. There's a reason for this, man. Some of you guys have assets in cars and boats and land, and you get nervous because the IRS don't have the power to take your shit. They're a corporation. That's why they don't. Down in Bradstreet. Anything on Dun and Bradstreet is a corporation. They don't have no power. You give them power because you're so afraid of the name, the IRS. You sign these papers and you voluntarily pay taxes. You voluntarily give them a gift. That's why they can come at you. You can stop paying taxes on your check. It's called FICA. FICA taking all your shit. You probably say, they'll fire me. No, they won't fire you. It depends on what you don't file a what's it called? A WABN. Because the abbreviation for BN is beneficiary. Okay? So you just want to find it's a W-2. Some of you guys already know this because I don't work for corporate, but W-2 or W-4. You can re-sign your W and they will stop taking taxes. But once they stop taking taxes, don't file no more. No man or woman should be paying taxes. You probably say, well, why they do it? They don't do it. You voluntarily give it to them. It's just a lot of things once you start to understand. It's just hard. You see what I'm talking about now? Once your knowledge start getting great, it's hard to sit down at them dealership lots knowing that everything they say out their mouth is a lie. And by you having them codes in your head, because when they present you with this shit, you say, what the fuck is all these finance charges? And you hit them with the truth in lending, they have to erase everything. And a lot of times they get so pissed that they can't screw you. We're just going to end this right here, man. We don't want your business. They'll do that because they can't screw you. It ain't because you're not right. I don't want you to feel bad once you understand this. You go and get a car and you put this on them. They can't screw you over because dealerships like to screw you over. And when they ask for down payments, they go right in their pocket. That's totally unlawful. How we say it's unethical and it's fraudulent to ask you for a down payment. But if you give it to them and sign off on it, you gave them a gift. When you tell them, I'm not giving you a down payment on anything. Okay, let me go back and talk to my GM. And he's keep quoting these codes. It's not that you're wrong, man. They don't want to deal with you because you know too much and they can't screw you. We're just going to cut ties, man. You're being very combative. And you notice when they say they don't want your business, they keep your app. Don't ask for it. You probably say, well, why would I give it to them? You didn't give them, they kept it because the app that you sign off on is worth money. They have a department. See, they don't have a Department of Treasury, but they affiliate with a bank that's the Department of Treasury. How many times you heard like Nissan, BMW have their own bank? Because Nissan is big enough now to have a Department of Treasury on deck. Did you know that? BMW, Lexus have Department of Treasury banks on deck. Did you know that? So they take that app and make money off of it. They cash it in. Your beneficiary signature. Now, the average car lot person don't know this. And some GMs don't know it, but they say don't throw away no paperwork. They give it to the CFO. He take it. He's going to take it to the Department of Treasury and cash in on it. So you're probably saying, what's the point of them keeping it? Well, let them keep it because now you can do a conditional acceptance to get the car for free. How do I do that? There we go. Study. See, I don't even want to teach all that shit because that's a fucking headache. But whenever you try, let's say if you try to get a BMW, they ran your credit, you sign the app, they tell you, well, unless you have an X amount of money down, we can't help you unless you get a cosigner. Cosigner is railroaded too. All you have to do is do a conditional acceptance letter, put their asses on notice. You have to write it. Tell them to give you, before you leave, tell them to give you an offer. See? Because what you're going to tell them is, hey, I'm going to talk to my friend or my sister, but we need to have this on paper, exactly what I need and what it's going to take for me to get the car. They're going to write that shit up. Let them do this. They're going to write it up. They're going to put the MSRP. They're going to put all that shit on there. They're going to tell you what's needed to be down. And this. That's conditional acceptance. We accept your offer with no money down. Then you're going to hit with the UCS codes, and they're going to give you that car. That's how simple it is, because all you're going to do is give them a promissory note or bill of exchange. But most likely, you give them a promissory note, sign off on it. And if you're already a fiduciary, you can sign a 1099A at that point with a 1096 as a private banker, and they will take that shit. They will. because at this point, the gym is out of his hands. He's going to call the CFO, and they're going to take what you have. It's just that simple. I just don't like the railroad shit, but I'm just trying to tell you, anytime you got denied credit, you can do a conditional acceptance and get credit. They can't deny you credit because everything is credit and promissory notes. So how they going to tell you? Credit score is just a shamble. Credit scores does not linger how your life is lived. It's very biased, and no one can tell you your credit score could determine your lifestyle. That's a very biased, discriminatory matter, an instrument that they have in place so that the bankers can play with your head, because each man and woman is a private bank. So there's no way you can be denied credit. You can't be denied housing. You can't be denied anything. You don't even need money to get a house. Just your last 12 to 24 months of paying rent is your down payment to get a house. Did you know that? They advertise it on TikTok all the time. You probably say, what did you just say? If you've paid rent, you ain't never skipped out on your lease, but for the last 2 or 3 years, you'd have a lease that you've been paid on, and you have always paid your rent. You can use that the lease that you signed for your apartment or townhouse, a house that you've been paying on for the last 3 years, that's collateral that you're liable enough to get a house. You do not need money down. You do not need a high credit score. These are all hoops that they put on you so they can drain you and keep you bamboozled. It's totally unethical to ask a person for money for a house. It's totally unethical to ask a person that they have to have a perfect credit score. That's bullshit. Now, this is what's happening. When you put that on them and they know you know the lingo, they'll tell you, we don't want your business. See, because the whole story is banks want to screw you without Vaseline. Car lots want to screw you without Vaseline. Okay? They all want to screw you. They do not want you to win. They're all into fucking the public. This is why they are so wealthy. But when the public stop letting these people fuck them and start questioning their ethics, they will have to change. Because they're worried about you suing them. Let me just explain this real quick. If there's a BMW dealer, there's a brokerage. If there's any type of dealership, any type of bank that you've been financed with, any credit union you've been financed with, you can't do this unless you're the fiduciary. This is why it's so important to become a fiduciary. If you become fiduciary, you can fill out a form called 3949A and file a complaint against anybody that financed you, that they have violated your rights, your loan has been paid in full, and they had you sign as a beneficiary and you didn't know what you were signing, and they're committing fraud and conspiracy. You can put a complaint in to any corporation, any lien holder, anybody that's holding a title of a car. You can, because you didn't pay for it. They're telling you still owe. So when you file this, they owe you for all the money you put out of your back pocket on the house as well as the car, and they also owe you interest on the car or the house. And that's real talk. And if you ever did a debt, what they call it, debt, not collection, it's not bill. People start calling shit bills. It's you're trying to write debt. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, you would do a 1099A, 1099C, 1041. And the reason you're going to do it in that order, because that cancels out the debt. Get it? Discharges the debt. You're trying to discharge it because everything is a promissory note. But if you can only do this if you're fiduciary. You would do a 1099A, 1099C, and a 1041. No, 1040. So why would you do a 1040? That's going to put on there everything you paid out your back pocket and the interest plus. And They have to pay you everything you paid into the house, everything you paid into their car, because it's already paid for. And that's why you can't do these things. That's why they want to keep you as a beneficiary and let somebody be your trustee, because the trustee ain't going to tell you can file a complaint with a 3949A. They keep you blind from that. When you're fiduciary, you can file a complaint on any corporation that's still holding the deed to your house and the title to your car. Now you see why it's important to become a fiduciary, and these people on YouTube are not telling you that. They're supposed to care so much, but they keep telling you to find a trustee. They're not telling you to become a fiduciary. Why? Because it's power in fiduciary, and you can't even be a private bank until you're a fiduciary. You can't, because the trustee is your private bank. Woo! That's why they fucking you. Never let nobody control you, man. Don't let nobody control your shit, bro. Just think about it. All credit, how you, let's say this, I'm out here. How you think banks, okay, let me put it this way. How you think banks pop up like by the hundreds? How you think Wells Fargo, Chase, how you think they just pop up? You think they just rolling in money because they so well? No, they have a private bank. And every time you open up an account, you sign your beneficiary signature. They use it as collateral and take it to the Department of Treasury and use it for money. So now they have wealth. They have wealth based on your ignorance, not understanding that you gave them the rights as a trustee, because the bank is now your trustee. You don't know this, but they're a hidden trustee that they can go inside your associated trust and draw from it. How do you fire them? You fill out a Form 56 that's on Roku Fire Stick. Right? You fill out a Form 56 and you fire all territories that's under you, that's unhidden everything. Then they can't get nothing from you. They had to deal with you directly as a fiduciary or private bank. But if a trustee only telling you to be the beneficiary, they leaving you in the dark, man. There's no benefit in being just a beneficiary. Why not be the beneficiary in the fucking fiduciary so that you can own the whole fucking pie, because you're really a private bank? The first thing you need to get a Black Law Dictionary and break them words down.